Good afternoon. I know it's a long day. Thank you for being with us here. I think this discussion uh, will end maybe before 6:30. However, I would like to thank you for being and joining us in this discussion panel. I have here a number of a question. We are going to discuss it with my colleagues. And please, if you have any question, we will keep the questions till the end of the session. Adapting global tech brings a lot of opportunities, brings related to the growth, innovation, and connectivity. So, based on this, this wave bring to us, for example, artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, and many of opportunities. I would like to ask my colleagues here, and maybe I will start with Dr. Mohammad Khaled. Okay,
The first nick to cut.
yeah, please. So I would like to ask you about the potential growth and innovation in the global tech ecosystem. What is your insight? How you see it?
First of all, thank you very much for hosting me today as part of this respective panel, and it's my honor to be part of it. Education, innovation, sky is the limit. However, education, innovation, sky is the limit. However, we have to change our mind and mentality as educators.
Yes.
All right. And today, in purpose, I'm coming with the casual, totally different from any educator because what we used to see all the educators or who's working on the education system, you have to be rigid, you have to not smile, you have to be tough, rude, for example. You're wearing your suit, you're wearing your tie, you need to have a certain limit with a certain people, with your students. No, we are an open community. If you are not gonna be open, you are an outdated today. Today, in purpose, I'm coming as a casual, as a living my teenager days, or let's say I'm living my young time days. So because we have to deliver a message that education system is not like what we used to do. This is point number one. Number two, the employment of technologies within the education, sooner or later, it must be. And it has to be part of our blood. Even I am against it, by the way, but we have to employ the educations. Why I'm telling you I'm against the education technology to be in the education tech? Because right now, if you ask me how to write colleague or college, I still confused. While I used to be writing by hands, I know how to write it because if I don't know writing or I'm gonna mistaken in spelling writing, I know there is a punishment will be coming from either from my mom or my father or from my teacher or let's say being bullying in front of the students within the school. So I have to learn to upskills my skills. But educations, it's good because it's gonna help for fast learning, learn by practice, because learn by practice is more important by learning by book. However, we should know how to adopt these technologies, not being against this technology. Let's take a simple example: generative AI or the GPT. Right now, why we all of us against the GPT? Why we are not going to use it as let's say a complement tool for education. For me, in the beginning, let's say if you're gonna tell me if I'm writing an article, by the way, I'm active on LinkedIn, all right? So many people start telling me as an influencer on LinkedIn, oh, your post now became more and more. That means you are using GPT, which is not true. Is it shame or is a compliment? Right now, it's a black and white. It's a gray area. It's a black or not a black and white. So for me, okay, let them to say whatever they want to say, as long as I'm producing good outcome, utilize it. Let's say, assume that I'm using GPT, but assume I'm producing a proper outcome. I'm reviewing the outcome. I post it. I help nation to get educated faster in a very simple way. Now, my son, he's 13 years old. I'm gonna teach him what does it mean teenager. If I'm gonna teach him in my way, I slap him immediately because I'm from the old school. But if I wanna ask psychologist how to teach my son what does it mean teenager, he's gonna tell me give me a creating a story, or maybe myself I will not understand it. Okay, but if I'm using the GPT, let's say, will give me the simple language for the age of the my son. For now, why we are against it? Let's use it for a proper education to deliver the message in a proper and simple way, and always simplicity is power. But today, always we want to use the current investment for the maximum outcome for the benefit of the nations, and most importantly, the education. So if the education system is is a table, we need to make the table more stable. This is my little point.
Yeah, thank you very much. You highlight AI, and I think, Dr. Selvan, I will ask you the same question about AI, Internet of Things, quantum computing as well. All these can create individual experience for the learning and teaching and learning. It's not anymore related to mass education. We are design curriculum for everyone, fit everyone. I think with all this technology, it's now we can serve everyone, and we have service fit for everyone in teaching and learning. From your point of view, how you see this growth and this development and potential, and based on tech wave, how you see this potential in teaching and learning and development?
Yeah. Let me introduce myself. I come from Curtin University. Curtin University, Dubai is a branch campus of Curtin University in Australia. We have campuses in Malaysia, Singapore, Mauritius, Sri Lanka. We have six global campuses. We are one of the top 1% universities in the world. Number two in the world for minerals and mining engineering. We are the largest university in the Western Australia. Even in UAE, Dubai, as per KHTA, Knowledge and Human Development Authority, we are a five-star university. To answer your question, yes, there is always potential for growth and innovation. The population is increasing. We are currently more than 8 billion people. 100 years before, the population was 1.9 billion people. Today, we have 8 billion people. Therefore, there is 400% increase in the population, 4 times increase in the population, but there is no increase in the size of the planet. We have only one planet. We have a limited amount of resources. Not only that, the consumption pattern is also changing. Some studies shows that 100 years before, 1,000 people, how much resources they consumed. Today, one single person is consuming. We have all the sophisticated equipment, mobile phones, laptop, refrigerator, air conditioning, cars, private jets. Our grandfather, grandmother did not have all of these sophisticated equipment. So not only population, the consumption pattern is increasing. So in order to run the modern economy, we need to come up with innovations. In engineering, we say IPAT equation, very famous equation. I is equal to PAT. I is impact, environmental impact. It can be acidification impact, global warming impact, photochemical smoke, ozone layer depletion impact, whatever the kinds of impacts. P is the population. Population, whether we like it or not, it is increasing. A is the affluence of the people, prosperity of the people. We wanted to enhance our comfort and convenience of the people, so that has to increase. So, for example, let's say in 2050, the population is going to be 1.5 times more than the population in 2000 level. And the affluence of the people in 2050 is going to be 10 times, let's say, have an example, 10 times more than the 2000 level. And impact, always we wanted to have less impact, less climate change impact, less impact, whatever kinds. So let's say 0.5 times impact what we had in 2000. So in order to achieve less impact, more population, more affluence, we need to come up with technology. So if we substitute all these values in the equation, we get somewhere around 30. So 30 times we need to have more technology and more innovation. Then only we can accommodate 9.8 billion people in 2050. Today, by simply sitting in your office here, we can control, we can operate your machineries somewhere in US, anywhere in the world. Our students, Dubai campus students, they are able to access the laboratories, softwares from our Australia campus. All these are possible because of technology. Therefore, there is always potential for growth and innovation. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. So, a lot of opportunities, I think, that tech wave will bring to the education. But I think as well, it will bring challenges and complexities. So, my question now to Professor Gupta. May I ask you that this tech wave has complex challenges? Not all places, for example, get these opportunities, and as well create gaps in who can do what. Are all students or regions are ready to join us in this in this era of tech wave? So I believe a lot of challenges will come with this tech waves. This may be related to many things, maybe related to the reshaping labor market, jobs, a lot of complexity. Can you tell us or share with us what are the complexity and difficulties with adapting rapid technology today?
Thank you, madam. Respected moderator, respected my panelists, all listeners over here. Good evening and namaskar to all of you. Before starting the topic, I'd like to say that my name is Rajat Gupta. I was the director of 3 National Institute of Technologies, NIT Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir, that is the oldest REC. I was the director of the newest NIT, NIT Mizoram, and I was the director of NIT Silchar, that is in between, that neither the old nor the newest. So I have some experience to share with you. Why I'm citing this is that this is very much relevant to the topic which Madam raised there. I'm extremely happy that I got an invitation to offer my views. I thank Dr. Robbie and his team for inviting me for this conference. And I'm a regular speaker of the conference. I'm extremely happy further to see that in India, private universities are coming in a very big way, very, very big way. Yes, being the chairman of NAC, being the chairman of NBA, I visit across the country and I have experienced that, yes, so many private universities are coming up and it is a very good sign for India's growth. You see that private universities, say for example, Chandigarh University, it is 17th in the NIF ranking, far ahead of many public institutes, including IITs. And so many private universities are coming up. Yes, that is a very good sign of this. But that the complexities of this for the holistic development of the whole country are, I feel, to be very precise, is that there are many, but I'll highlight some points. One is that accessibility. Yes, I mentioned Srinagar, I mentioned Mizoram, I mentioned Silchar because of the geographical disadvantaged places that accessible education is not accessible to all. There's still in India, there is a division between Bharat and India. So Delhi is not India. India is much bigger than Delhi. So this accessibility is a big issue. Another is, yes, that inequality, inclusiveness. That is another big issue. And another issue is the shortage of quality faculty members. Shortage of quality faculty members. Yes, that you can have big buildings, but big buildings have no meaning if there are no quality faculty members. Yes, employment of the students are also big issues, but these are some of the issues of this quality of education. How to address this one? That's what that with the new education policy NEP 2020, and the government is taking a lot of steps, including the RUSA Study in India program. So many initiatives are taken by the private institutes, government institutes, and they are addressing this. And yes, I'm quite hopeful that yes, with together we can overcome all the issues for making India a better one. The digital divide will be lessened, and that will be a global village instead of village inequality. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor. So I can see a lot of challenges, and maybe I will ask you, Dr. Kishore, about the challenges. If you don't mind, I may ask about the privacy and the security of the data. Currently, we have lots of data, and managing and dealing with this data and the security of this data may be sometimes stolen or misused. Or is this one of the challenges you see it now related to tech wave, or how you see it? What is your insight in this area?
Thank you, madam, for your thank you for the rightful question. As I was, this panelists who spoke before me spoke about the opportunities that tech wave is going to bring, right from the teaching learning process. And our first panelist who spoke here very rightly said that generative AI. He mentioned about chat GPT. When it comes here, my son is also 16 years old, right? If he gets an assignment from school, the first thing that he does is he goes inside ChatGPT and tries to do. So what it makes is both. Both. What it makes is the innovation, the creativity of the individual is slowly diminishing. Is what I feel. That's a big challenge for any educational institutions, let it be the teacher or the institution as a whole, to face and to come out of it. To that to happen, what I believe is that in India they have started something called UHV, yeah, human human value systems, where they teach about ethics that they have to follow in while copying or writing and essays or writing things. And I believe that it is a slow process, but it will happen. But adapting is going to be more of usefulness for any student, because a student sitting in India can get a degree from MIT in US. Yes, the data is going to be a big problem. It's going to be, have to face a lot of issues on that part. And how to curtail is a big question, which I thought that I will get an answer today here in the panel. So to my knowledge, and we are an affiliating type of institutions, to my knowledge is that since if we have a strong firewall, right, in India there is Aadhaar DigiLocker, where all our data is being stored there, right, and it has been still secure, is what they feel. And I believe that the small hurdles will be there when new technology is being introduced, a new way of learning is being introduced. As we did it in the COVID time, we will definitely overcome it. And even engineering was taught online, and exams were taught. So labs, everything were being rebuilt in AR, VR. Their labs were being built in software modes, where students can go and even do assemble and reassemble their machinery parts, and mechanical students can do that one. So I believe that we will be able to overcome all those challenges. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think all of us now we are talking about artificial intelligence, while everyone, and especially faculty, are concerned about artificial intelligence and how students can learn while they have ChatGPT can write for them anything they want, can answer any question they want. In fact, I see ChatGPT as a learning tool. They are learning from ChatGPT. They are not cheating. And maybe similar concern was there when calculator invented for the first time. They thought that it will stop people from learning math, but now they are using it along with them during math classes and doing math with it. Similar to Excel, for example, when it started, they think the people will not learn statistics or how to do equations. I see ChatGPT as an opportunity. Maybe we need to employ it more in education, put, I mean, guidelines and use it. Yeah, use it properly rather than just fight it and close it. It is a learning tool for the students. So yes, accelerate, exactly, accelerator. So this will take me to my second question. What do you think it will be the emerging trends, Dr. Selvan, if I'm asking in this regard? What can be the emerging trends and possibilities based on all these tools available now? What do you think?
All of you spoke about AI, machine learning, ChatGPT, and all. But what I think the renewable energy will have the most important impact in the energy industries. Right now, as we speak, the global mean temperature has increased 1.2 degrees Celsius above the pre-industrial level. With the current rate of emissions, we have 5 years and 100 days left before the global warming hits 1.5 degrees Celsius. We have already seen the consequences of climate change. Floods are happening, heat waves are happening, drought is happening, sea level is rising, soil is getting eroded. So our lifestyle has become such a way that not even a single second goes without the use of energy. And more than 80% of that energy comes from the fossil fuel right now. So the world is looking for renewable energy. We know the UK is going to phase out petrol, diesel in 2040. UAE has a clean energy strategy for 2050. Industries are looking for clean energy. And universities started offering renewable energy and clean energy courses. For example, Curtin University, the best university to study petroleum engineering in Australia is Curtin University. But we have already stopped offering that program. From 2024, we are going to start energy transition engineering. We don't want to teach anything related to fossil fuel. We don't want to do any research related to petrol, diesel. So that's what we are transitioning to new world where everything is going to be sustainable. Therefore, storage of energy, producing renewable energy, smart way of transmission, smart distribution. This will be the focus. That is one of the emerging fields. Apart from that, yes, of course, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cloud computing, blockchain. All these things are there. Healthcare industries, robotics is going to be there. And in the automobile sectors, autonomous vehicle, electric vehicles, space industries, space tourism, space exploration techniques, and agriculture industries, particularly AI machines, can be used to apply fertilizer and chemicals, pesticides in the soil. Because our soil is getting eroded, soil is becoming sand. According to United Nations, to call soil as soil, at least there should be 2% organic content. But for example, in India, more than 60% of India's soil, the organic content is 0.5% or less than that. We are on the verge of desertification. Some study shows that in 2045, we'll be producing 40% less food. When there is a shortage of food on the ground, there could be a number of civil wars around the planet. Whatever civilization we have built for 100 years, 1,000 years, everything will break down when there is a shortage of food on the ground. Therefore, these AI machines, they should be working by themselves and apply fertilizers, pesticides wherever it is required. Like for human beings, when there is a particular vitamin is not there, we give only that particular vitamin to that person. We don't give all other vitamins, or we do treatment only for that particular disease. Same way, the AI machines should go themselves and apply fertilizer and pesticides where it is required, how much it is required, and what quantity is required. So that will make a big difference in the agriculture industries because it is required. If the soil is not rich, if there is no organic content in the soil, then we need to apply fertilizer and chemicals. But these AI machines can help in that way. Not only we get organic food, we can save energy, chemicals, materials, all these pollutions we can save. So these are the emerging areas, I think. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Selvan. Dr. Mohammad, Khaled, what do you think the emerging trends and possibilities that will define the future of technology on a global scale?
Actually, it's across and much. There is no specific point you can highlight. This is the emerging will be for the future, but it's matter of combinations between the cloud. If you see the cloud itself, integrated with the AI and data.
Okay.
Because the data, you need high computing and power.
Yes.
AI also need rich data. Good data gives me proper AI.
Yeah.
So it's angle triangle. So I'm gonna say, let's say, certain emerging things that need to go focus. No, it's a chain. You need to do diversification versus specializations to have the T model where you can do diversified and also specialized. So once you say AI and you don't know what is the data and you don't know what is the relying infrastructure
Yeah.
from the cloud and digital infrastructure, then sorry, with all respect, you are not an AI. So
Yeah.
how you're gonna manipulate it, what you need it from, the prerequisite, at least let's say uh, 30-40% to run your business operations or let's say educational care. Beside all of this, the cybersecurity,
Yeah.
because cybersecurity will never ever stop, which is it's been highlighted that the ethics of using the data itself, because we are using the data in day-to-day operations from Google search, we're using the box, whatever the medium of the, let's say, of the data sources, how to use it and how to employ it, who the owner and who the custodian. So these principles leads also to the governance. So it's an ecosystem of
Yeah.
things. So the ecosystem of things, once you want to specialize on something, we have to, let's say, understanding the relying infrastructure or relying things associated to it. This is the emerging.
Yeah. And how do you think universities can respond and be proactive to deal with the future trends?
To cancel the education system, the
Yes.
theoretical one, in my professional opinion.
Okay.
I don't say that I'm against the education,
Okay.
but to cancel the theoretical or educational part and mix it with the vocational educational part. So the education is part of it. However, vocational is another important part because I'm gonna graduate.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna from the university. I want to apply whatever I have learned. It's completely theory.
Yeah.
So I increase the unemployment rate here. Then I will go to the professional certifications, so professional, let's say, technology provider to be certified on their system.
Yeah.
Again, I'm reinvent the wheel.
Yeah.
So my professional opinion, we have to relook to the educational system. And part of the educational system should be a practice. One, and not only practices in terms how to do a research, how to do configure to using the certain technology. No, to use the diversified of technologies.
Hands-on education.
Exactly, hands-on educations. And increase the internship period. It's not only 3 months or during the before you graduate or you do, let's say, a project, it's a mandate. No, hands-on, it has to be a mandate.
Yeah.
And if you need to do additional learning curves, you do your research as a capstone.
Yeah.
But if let's say the program is 4 years, I'll make 2 years as educational system, and the other 2 years complete hands-on applying whatever I have learned. So whenever I go to the market for job seeking, I'm ready to the market. At least I understand it. Whenever someone talk about AI, I understand it from the AI to data to cybersecurity, from the cloud infrastructure. I understand it from data policy, data procedure, data cleansing, data usage. All of this, it's an ecosystem. I won't understand all of this from the university.
Yeah.
I won't understand all of this
Definitely.
unless I'm practicing it.
True.
And how is it related to the business? This is technology, but also the business, how it can be, let's say, being accelerated by employing those technologies. This is
Definitely.
my
Definitely.
humble and personal opinion.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khaled. My question to you, Professor Mario, now, it's about how tech wave reshaping industry, from your opinion, and the job market in terms of skills and competency needed for to stay relevant. What do you think in this regard?
Thank you for having me here today. Uh, just to give a little background about myself so that you understand why I'm saying what I'm going to say. Uh, I'm somebody who moved from industry to academia. So I've worked in finance, I've worked in strategy, as well as I've been a general manager. So you need people with skills. Now, yes, AI is coming up with alternatives. Um, I'm not going to say that some jobs are not going to be replaced. I know some people say no. It will. And the ones that at the especially at the operational level, where it's easier to automate, will be the ones that will be first to be automated. I mean, we have seen how things like, forget AI, even things like bank tellers. Earlier, it used to be always people. Now, today, UAE, you hardly find people. I mean, even if you go to a bank, they'll say, go and talk to the machine. They are not prepared.
Yeah.
They will handle only if you have a transaction above a certain amount of value, which involves physical cash, and things like that. So, now in this context, people will have to have certain skills which are more difficult to replicate and imitate by technology. So, what the future, job seekers need to do is they need to identify what these are, first of all. If you traditionally just go into certain sectors just because your father did it or somebody else did it or your grandfather did it, that might not be the way to do it, because some of those jobs may be taken over by AI. So we need to identify what those are. And I would think the areas where there's more discretion, more judgment, more empathy, more human involvement required would be more difficult to replicate and replace. So this is something to keep in mind. So I would say we are right now in a period of transition. I don't think there is anybody who, or there will be, if at all, very few, who can predict and say, okay, these are the jobs that are safe, these are the ones that are not safe. But you could make some reasonable assumptions based on what you know. But it is good for us to identify these changing trends, because right now we are in that period when things have not settled down yet. Now, I heard earlier somebody talking about the calculator. And now the calculator era is settled. So there is no more surprises because of the calculator. But AI will continue to, change the, the ecosystem for a while. Because relatively all this AI and chat GPT and everything else, all the other technologies related are still relatively very new. So it's good to identify some of those areas where there's a greater involvement of human, nature being deployed in the delivery of your, task. And those will be the ones that are safer, I would say. And but it's interesting times. I'm now in academia. I am a dean. There is talk that even our jobs can be replaced. Teaching can be replaced. It's knowledge. But then whether a student would like to stand in front of a computer or a robot and be learned and be receiving learning, whether parents would be comfortable with that, are things that are not yet answered. So, yes, maybe a machine can do most of what we do, but whether society will accept it to that level or which aspects of it will be accepted and which ones will be rejected is yet to be seen. But it's interesting times. And just to add, I would say focus on the skills that make us human. Those are the ones that are more difficult for AI to replicate. So, I'll give you a classic example. Let's take a medical doctor. Now, I don't come from that field, but this is a generic example that I would like to share. Like when we go to doctors, I'm talking about medical doctors, we sometimes after the interaction, we say, he or she is a good doctor, correct? And sometimes we don't like the doctor. Now, what is that based on? Did we check their qualifications? Did we run through their history of patients and what is the success rate? No. Our judgment of it's based on how that person interacted, whether they gave time, whether they, made us feel important, whether they were trying to rush us off and go to the next patient. So you see, even somebody who, we are not going for a chit chat, is it? We are going to get medicine. But still, that's how our human brain works. That's how we come to a conclusion. So we cannot, even in an area where we are expecting expertise, that aspect is still important. The emotional intelligence, the personal interaction, the interpersonal skills is very important. So I would say, I'm just going to wrap up with that to show that that's not easy to replicate. So you might want to focus on that.
Thank you very much.
If
So
you
I
allow
can.
me here,
Yeah.
at one point, just to complement what the professor said, that's why we are converting from AI to cognitive AI, which is the mimicking human interactions and dealing with it.
Yeah. Because, what I hear here, a lot of jobs cannot be replaced by AI. because maybe of ethics, emotions, any, our nature as a human. So I totally agree. And I think Dr. Muhammad Khalid as well mentioned that competency is important, hands-on education, skills, and you mentioned as well skills, that to make students skilled to for this new wave. So my question now to you, Professor Gupta, if we all agree that we want to prepare students for evolving job market dominated by AI, as mentioned, and to be ready for the future. Lots of concerns of a quality of educators. We are all educators in universities. Yeah. We are, and this concern is related to training of educator and generation gaps between us and our students. How to teach students, they are in many cases better than us in different ways. So I want to ask how to deal with these concerns in terms of educators training and preparing to prepare the students for the future. Yes.
Okay, thank you, madam. I all agree to the points given my co-panelists. Yes, the AI, we should not be afraid of AI. Rather, we should welcome AI for the changed scenario. Skilling, upskilling, and reskilling is the mantra of life. It is true for the students, it is true for the teachers. Teachers and students should be co-learners. Should be another mantra. Take the example of, say, Kodak photography. Once upon a time, it was the monopoly of photography in Kodak. But now, Kodak is nowhere because they fail to adapt. So adaptability is the mantra. Similarly, the teachers, the necessity of teachers, there is no question of that. But what type of teachers are required, that who should know that every skill set has a shelf life, So skilling, reskilling, and upskilling, both for the teachers as well as for the students, are mandatory, and both should be the co-learners. Yes, and teachers should be the mentors as well. Yeah. Yes.
Thank you very much, Professor Gupta. My question to you, Dr. Kishore, do you think teaching and learning need shift, pedagogical shift, to deal and respond to these changes, and to what extent?
We you asked me about the teaching learning process that has been evolved here. I would like to add what with there. Now a study says that the attention span of a student is less than 6 minutes because he is addicted to social media, where he uses Instagram, YouTube Shorts, where he tends to push in every 30 seconds and like to get a new content. So the teacher should equip himself to the new technology that the students are expecting. You should prepare well. For a 15 minutes class, I believe that we should prepare at least 5 to 6 hours, different contents in different way that the student, like maybe gamifications introduced, maybe make the class more interactive, where it is a flipped classrooms where the students will also take part in teaching, and maybe bring some video lectures, bring some interactive boards to the classrooms, where we both learn together. The teachers and the students will learn together the concept. That is how teaching learning is going to go forward, is what I think.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Dr. Selvan, please. What do you think regarding pedagogical shifts needed for future to respond to all these changes in the future from
Yeah.
your perspective?
Yes, what I feel, to add to all the other panelists, we should have a industry institute interactions. Universities and colleges should have a industry advisory board. Whatever technology updates happening in the industries, immediately it should reflect on the curriculum development in the universities, so that can be taught immediately there. Otherwise, after graduation, students have to do extra value addition course, which is all additional things. So the industry institute interaction should happen frequently.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Selvan. This is the last question for all of you. Maybe I will start from you here to ask what is your insight on how collaboration between stakeholders, all stakeholders, can foster competition uh, and tech landscape? How to enhance, how to participate, to foster from your perspective?
For this, I would like to give an example what we do at our institution, right? What we do is we formed a concept called knowledge partners, where we give the industry partners to come here and say what is that they want in the syllabus to be incorporated, certificates that the students has to complete, maybe what is the projects that they are doing, the live projects or the old projects that they do. So 40% of the syllabus is being given to the students there, so that that 40% can be handled by the industry, or they train the trainers, they train their faculty members to come and handle. And
Okay.
some are self-learning models.
Yeah.
India, the new model curriculum in India, when UGC has come up with, says that 40% of the syllabus can be self-learning. So when these students learn by themselves, when the industry comes here and then sets up the knowledge partners, the graduating students is always 3 to 4 years, is like a 3 to 4 years experienced working person. So the students will be billable from the day one that he joins an company. And end of the day, he become employability. And the students would like to go for an starting up his own startup firm, right? What we did was we conducted a psychometric test at the beginning of the first year, and we evaluated the students' interest towards where do you want, whether employability or towards the startups. And then we started giving product development lab right from the first semesters to the 6 semesters, and then come up with his own product. If all the students would like to come up, everybody can come up with a product and then become a startup. So I believe that that is how that we were able to ensure the partnership of the industries, partnership of the students, right, and the faculty members and the parents, the society as a whole, to accept what it is today.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Dr. Mohammad Khaled.
Thank you very much. Actually, it has multiple pillars. Number one, you have to change the image of the educator in the front of the public.
Wow. Okay.
Okay, this is the most important one that I see it in my professional opinion. Why I'm saying this? Because once I graduated from the grade 12, I did not join any university, just FYI. All right. I spent 1 year without education. During the morning time, I go to the IT company just to put hands-on experience. And the afternoon time, evening time, I go to the training center. I get those Microsoft, Cisco, all those professional certifications to be certified. Within less than 6 months, I got my first job. That was back in 2002. Then, the following year, I joined the university. I started working and studying at the same time. Graduated from the university with 5 to 6 years of experience. My colleague graduated from the university. They spent 1 year, 6 months. Some of them lucky, 2 months, 3 months. They found a job where I am continuing my experience. I did my master, my PhD. I joined as adjunct faculty, and so on. So teaching from the hands-on experience, which is 21 of years of experience right now, with my educational experience. So the image of the educator is rigid. I'm telling you from the industry, it's two ways of communications that it's not easy to reach. And my observation over LinkedIn, I don't see any post from any educator or university professors. I'm telling you, this is a personal experience. So if we want to support the employment and we need to support the industry and we are looking for the industry expert to join us, all right, to the universities, and we don't reach them. So how we gonna change this image? So the first thing to change this image by stop talking research and talking about applied research. All right. This the other important. Increase the presence of the educator on the industrial forum in the LinkedIn. Let's start by LinkedIn. Right now, even my colleagues in the educational system, I find difficulty to find them. I want to meet some of them for a coffee to discuss something. I find difficulty to find them. So, is it time management issues, or is it social issues, or psychological issues, or prestige issues? Okay, I don't means anyone. I don't try to insult anyone, but I'm talking about personal experience. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm telling you what I see and what
So
other
how they
colleague from
can
industry.
how they can teach students about the industry and the
Thank you very
professional
much.
life.
Exactly. So that's why if we're teaching them about the industry, we tell them you have to go to industry, and ourselves we are not on the industry. So we need to solve something, but we don't solve ourselves. So increase the presence on the LinkedIn. I'm ready to create a forum or group over LinkedIn. I will invite all of you to start changing knowledge, experience on it as a step one on over WhatsApp. To have, let's say, monthly forums over digital channels on MS Teams or Zoom to pick up a topic from the pain of the students or the pain of the education and solve it jointly together. I'm ready to take the lead from this forum. The other things, we need to gain the trust of the industry on the educations.
Yeah.
Because the industry, they telling you, okay, I don't want to waste my time. They need, let's say, I don't have a time to charity. I don't have a time for, let's say, educational discussions that will not return of the investment to the industry,
Yeah.
especially in the technology companies. So here, or if you look to it, all of them connected to the changing the image.
Yeah.
Looking to the, if you look to it, it's related to the presence of the educator on the industry. It depends on the lifestyle, lifestyle in terms of the industry style.
Yes.
All right, and the vice versa, industry to the research as an applied research. But this is from my professional opinion, or let's say my humble opinion, based on my personal experience. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I see from my industry, community practice, and the educational industry.
Yes. Thank you very
There is a
much,
big
Dr.
gap.
Mohammad. Dr. Selvan?
Yes. So when there are technological advancement, there should be always participation from different stakeholders for exchanging ideas, sharing information, and setting common standards. People with different backgrounds, when they come together, they come up with innovative ideas and solve problems. Particularly in the industries, there is a huge knowledge gap between the senior people and the freshmen who are joining the industry. And there should be collaboration between them. And again, I am bringing the climate change because it is one of the most challenging issues for the entire planet. When you want to address climate change, there should be a participation from all the nations. That's why the COP28 happened recently. More than 190 nations participated here in the UAE, COP28. So because climate change is a global problem, a damage conducted in one part of the planet has global consequences. So the collaboration between different parties are very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Professor Kopta?
Yeah, thank you, madam. I'll just highlight 2 points. One is that what is the purpose of the university? Earlier, the purpose of the university is to generate new knowledge. Now, this has been changed in the form that new knowledge has to be converted into wisdom, and that wisdom should be converted into resources. Now, this afternoon, when I saw the presentation of Graphic University, I could see that, yes, standing in a place like Dehradun, you cannot say it is a centrally located place. Even though at Dehradun, they are doing a lot of things in terms of IPR, patents. This is highly appreciable. And that way, I'm very hopeful that whole India will come up, the tier 1, tier 2, tier 2, tier 3 cities. The second part is that regarding that stakeholders. Who are the stakeholders of the university? Students, teachers, parents, society as a large, and industries. Now, regarding the industries, they should come forward more in the sense that they should not concentrate only for the development of tier 1 cities institutes. Yeah, their corporate social responsibilities, they should extend to tier 2, tier 3 cities as well. For example, I am from National Institute of Technology, Silchar. We are ranked very high, 7th among the all NITs, above NIT Durgapur, NIT Jaipur, NIT Allahabad. Why I mention these three NITs? These three NITs are centrally located, but we are located in a remote place, and we do not have a single industry-enabled lab because no industry is any interest to develop any lab at our place. In spite of all this, through our dedications, we are moving forward. So my appeal would be to all the industries whosoever that they should also help the institutes located in the tier 2 and tier 3 institutes to make our country a self-reliant one. And there's a beautiful example of this one is that Chandrayaan 3, the success of Chandrayaan 3. Who made the success of Chandrayaan 3? They are not the graduates of IITs and IITs. They are the graduates of tier 2 and tier 3 institutes. Yes. So this is our strength. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Last but not least, Professor.
Yeah. I would like to address it this way. You see, education and higher education, the output, the students who graduate, are there for either to create employment or to become an employee. So in other words, there's another stage. So it's obvious that we need to engage that stage. We need to understand what are their aspirations, what are they looking for. So I heard Industrial Advisory Board being mentioned. So now these should not also be just institutions or just regular meetings. The pulse of the changing industry is something that educators and educational institutions need to understand. Then they will, you see, businesses are ruthless. They will invest when there's return. Like my learned gentleman said, I'm not very familiar with some of these areas in India because I'm from Sri Lanka, by the way. And he said his IIT does not get support from industry. Why? It's not centrally located. So industries like that, they look at return on investment. I started off in finance, so I understand what this is. So the thing is, we need to engage them, not necessarily to embrace their philosophy, but also to be able to do the right thing, which is in demand. If not, now I can just relate to one particular degree that we have in Sri Lanka. I know this essentially is, most of you all are Indians, if not 99%. But just to add, you see, there's a Bachelor of Science that a lot of our state universities generate, and those people find it difficult to get employed. And these are the people who couldn't make it to medical school. They didn't have enough grades to go to medical school, so they do this. But the employability of that particular degree, irrespective of which institution gives it, is very low. So it's a good degree, but not in demand in the market. So you see, things like that. So we have to collaborate. The more we collaborate, somebody said 2 brains are better than 1. The more we have ideas, we can understand each other's expectations, and we can adapt. Somebody talked about adaptability. Adaptability is the name of the game. That's why the dinosaurs are not there and the amoeba is still around. Okay, the single cell. So adaptability is very critical even in this industry. So because we work very closely with industry, we have to, and we need to engage them, not just because you have a function or event, but that engagement has to be real, and that learning has to be real, and it has to be translated to our curriculums and programs, and that has to change. And this is happening, but it should happen a little faster.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us till the end of this discussion panel. I would like to take this opportunity to thank our panelists. Thank you for joining us today for this in-depth discussion. I know maybe we don't have enough time to discuss a lot of ideas. Thank you, Dr. Mohammad, for sharing with us about the Facebook. And please go ahead. LinkedIn, sorry, about LinkedIn. Yeah, many الحين LinkedIn. Thank you very much. So thank you for being here, and thank you to all of you. Thank you very much.